that you're familiar with today, but it has a whole new look and life to it. So obviously we have a new facelift on everything, but inside that there in the comments, company, it's everybody. I'm going to start with what we're doing with something that you're familiar with today, but it has a whole new look and life to it. So obviously we have a new facelift on everything, but inside that on the left-hand side, you will see one of our proprietary applications that's inside of Ruby. Now, last week I told you there were 4 features or 4 applications inside of Ruby that are now in patent pending. One of those is Personify. And it's because Personify is a very powerful application that hasn't even really been in your hands to the fullest extent, but it's super powerful the way it is right now. Being able to take an AI content or insight and drive it down to the core of not just a tone. And we're going to talk a little bit about tone and voice. And if you're not a marketing expert, this is a beautiful thing for you because you don't have to know anything about marketing to create the perfect target audience, to create the perfect persona that you would need so that when you're creating content, maybe it's a social media post, maybe it's a blog, whatever it is, maybe it's just having a consistent brand voice. Whatever it is that you're trying to create, the way that you say it, the way that you communicate is super important. Now, along with just the voice and tone, though, you have to have the right engaging content that's going to go to that target audience and grab their attention, pull them in, and build trust and convert. All of this is why marketing agencies and ad agencies do incredible work for their clients because they understand where to start. If I'm talking to somebody who's 16 years old, I'm going to have a hard time selling them something if I talk to them the exact same way that I talk to my mom. Though they might both use the same product, the way that I communicate that message makes all the difference in the world. And that is why Personify is so powerful. Okay, so let's talk about Personify and the things that have changed. If you're familiar with Personify as it is, there's a few things that have changed, and I want to kind of share those with you. Number one, obviously it has a new facelift as well, where all of your personas are just onto the left side. Like you have access to them all. You have a way to search them out. And then you have 2 different views. You have a detailed view and a list view, so you can see them all. And of course, you can go in and hit edit on the list view, and you can pull it into the detail. All of it in one area. You're not having to go outside and do anything else. Click it on the left, and it's going to load it into the right. Very simple for you to modify. Now, the next thing that you'll see is really nothing different. Create from text, create from URL, or create from social. Create from text. Currently, you have 2 text boxes that you have to put in a little bit about maybe the goals of your brand or your voice or your product or service, and a little bit about the company and who it is or the person that you want to be. Here, you can put it all into one. And one of the things that we had a lot of feedback come back in is that there just wasn't enough characters allowed so that you could create a deeper persona. And so from create from text right now, it's all just about one big text box. You have over 5,000 characters that you now can go in and you can put in as much as you could possibly want to describe you, your product, your service, your goals, your visions, your heart, whatever it is that's going to be about you, your product, your company that you want to create a persona about. Now, the second way is about creating it from a URL. And if you're not familiar with this, there's really has multi capabilities. So from creating from a URL is I can go to my company site, my landing pages, or whatever I am going to just put in the URL and I'm going to have it go scrape all of the information off of my site, push that into a persona, and it's going to come back with a persona based on the content that's on my site. Now, there's a couple of things that are great. Number one, if I'm just trying to create a brand voice, that's a good place to start. Number one, it lets me check my own work. Is my landing page, is my website talking to the market that I am supposed to be doing? That is a huge check for you to go do, and it's simple inside of Personify. Now, the second thing that this is huge for, and this is where I use it the most, is to do a competitive strategic analysis of my competitors. So if I think that there's a company out there in my industry that's doing extremely well, that I think are leading the way, or maybe they're really winning, I can go and scrape their website and get exactly the persona in which they are reaching. And then I can totally use that to go and create my own website, to create my own messaging. And so sometimes, most times, just to be honest, most times, in the ad agency world, it wasn't about always creating the next best thing. It was about finding the thing that was working and then implementing that into your world. And so this is a huge tool for allowing that to happen. Personify is more than just a creation of the persona for you and what you want. It's a great way to go out and gather insight. Now, the last one that you'll see there is create from social. Because creating something from a social platform like Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitter, now known as X, just X. I can go and I can find an influencer that speaks exactly to the audience that I am wanting to reach. And obviously, if they're a growing influencer or a growing channel, then they're obviously doing something right. So that was one of the things that we have available. You can add a social handle or a link, and we're going to go and we're going to scrape those influencers' comments and posts, and we're going to create the persona from there. So then when you go to create content and you're selecting this persona to be using to write the content, you're going to sound as like you're coming from that influencer's channel. Now, as you can see, we have now got multiple ways for you to go in here. Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, and LinkedIn. You will be able to select which of those platforms that you want to use, and you're just going to add the link or the handle of the person that you're trying, or the channel or the page that you want to go and grab the information from. Now, when you hit create persona, there's so much going on in the background of this. But one of the things that we thought was going to be really helpful was to bring up some options for you. So when it's finished running everything, the one thing that you're going to see is you're not just going to have one kind of synopsis, but 4 different synopses that you can kind of use to summarize what this is all about. So at the end, you get these 4 different options. It actually describes exactly who your audience is, and you get to choose which one of these 4 best represents where you are, where you think this should be. It could be that it's using a 25 to 34, maybe it's a 25 to 40 in one of the different ones because you wanted it a little bit broader. But this gives you an option. Of course, everything is editable, but we want as much of this to be automated as possible. This is basing it on trends. This is also basing it on current trends. No longer waiting to go back and use just the LLM. And if you're familiar with the way that we are using our anchoring, anchoring is brought into our Personify. And now we have current trends being used to create your personas. Now, that's not where we stopped, though. We actually took it one more place, because one of the things that I have always said and I've always done on the ad agency side is we've always put a face or an image to the target audience and personas that we are representing. It's a major deal for people when they're creating content subconsciously, just to see the person that they're communicating with, sometimes changes the way that you actually write, the way that you're feeling it. And so we actually did this as well, so that we are going to automatically, based upon the description that you choose, we're going to go and create an image for that automatically. And if you don't like it, you can hit the re-roll button and it will do it again. Okay? If you don't like that, you also can click to upload a video or upload an image from your computer, or to choose it from the asset manager already in Ruby. So you might already have an image that fits this in the app inside of Ruby, and you can just use that. But then you'll go in and it'll finalize the persona. And when the persona is completely finished, it's beautiful. You get to see the demographics. You're going to get to see the psychographics. We create 3 voice profiles. We create 3 tone profiles. And of course, you can choose those as you're building content. So one of the things that we also wanted to do is to take it even further. So whenever we created personas in my ad agency, we always had a primary and we had a secondary. And so we always had that. And so we implemented that now. As you see that you have a primary age and a secondary age, both of these are being implemented into the thought process when it's creating content, so that it can blend as much as possible to be able to reach those markets. You also have a gender profile that can also be a primary and a secondary. Now, one of the things that you'll see here is, so you just have these little click buttons. So if I'm sitting inside of, let's say, my income level, and I say, well, I really want to hit 50,000 as well. So if I just click on 50,000, it's going to highlight 50,000. And now it will have a 50,000 to a 99,999 range. And I can go ahead and just keep clicking around until I get the right group. And I don't have to do anything other than just click on it. And I can do this for anything. I can change the sliders by the age group. Whatever it is that you're wanting to tweak, you can. Now, one thing that's super important also is right up here, you'll see this little information eye on every single one of these, because again, we wanted to build this so that you didn't have to be a marketing expert to understand all this. And so anytime that you click on an eye, you're going to hear or be able to read. You heard me. You're able to hear by playing the little button here, or you're going to be able to read whatever it is that you want to know about demographics. Now, when you go in and you understand the difference between demographics and psychographics, the difference between voice profiles and tone profiles, it may give you a little bit of knowledge that you might need to go in and fine tune. But this is really important. So these are the pieces that are inside of our demographics. When you go to the psychographics, it's the exact same. And one of the things you'll find now is our personality trait. So we're adding a personality trait to the demographics that you can put in there. We also have added 3 different pain points that represent the persona or the target audience that you're trying to reach. Why is that super important? Well, we weren't putting those out on the front. We had motivations and we pushed the motivations in front, but the pain points we kept in the back, and now we're pushing those back forward into there so you can actually see and edit those. All of this in a very simple way of just clicking buttons, clicking in a text box and rewriting it. That also happens with your description up here. If you want to change your description, you can just change it. You can do however you want. And again, just like everything with the demographics, you want to know about psychographics, we're going to tell you all about them. And if you don't want to read it, just click the button and you get to hear our Ruby voice tell you all about it. This goes on throughout the entire way with our voices and tones. You'll save those. You'll be able to recall those back up and edit those whenever you want. And of course, inside of IntelliChat, inside of our modules, anywhere that you're wanting to start to go, you're going to have the opportunity to put in your persona, keeping your brand voice the same, keeping your target audiences on point, and creating the best engaging content you can make. So that is the kind of the overview of Personify. I hope you love it. I think it's one of the most powerful things you can have inside of Ruby. just as you understand that whatever you're trying to create has to have the right conversation happening with the target audience that you're trying to engage and to convert. Even if it's a simple email and it's coming from your company or it's coming from you, it should come from a place that has a voice, tone, and a profile wrapped around it to whom you're speaking, so that you're speaking in a way that they can hear it. Speak to a third grader like a third grader, not like a college graduate. And that's the same with a college graduate. Don't talk to them like a third grader. And so this helps put that voice, tone, and message exactly the way they need it to be processed. Okay, so there is Personify, but that's not where we're going to end today. All right, so now we're live in our development of Rubi 2.0. And as you know, we have all these really cool things like IntelliChat. We have all this cool stuff with our virtual studio that's here. We've kind of gone through some of that with our voice lab and vocalization. And even, a little bit that we touched yesterday or last week on Rubi Music, just to kind of show it off a little bit. But we wanted to bring in the instrumental side. And I'm going to talk a lot about this today. And then we're also going to do a deep training on Rubi Music this week in our 1 hour Q&A session. Now we're also going to do it with Personify. So Personify, Rubi Music, both in the 1 hour training for this week. Now Corey's going to put that up at the very end. Again, I want to keep them small. I think that we can open it up to 20. So I'm going to say the first 20 people that register is going to be the 20 people that are going to be able to get in. If you can't make it, still register, because you can use the link that you're registering with to get to watch this thing. You're just not going to be live to answer and do the questions with your questions. Let me talk about Rubi Music now. So obviously you can see we don't have all the pretty pictures. There's lots of things going on inside of Rubi Music. But there's two ways to create inside of Rubi Music. There's one that's instrumental. It makes unbelievable music beds. These music beds are such a high quality, and the ability to download them to fit the biggest, baddest, most used mixing platform software in the world. If you go into a music studio, a professional studio, you're going to see Pro Tools, you're going to see Ableton. These are the two big platforms that all the big studios use. It's what the engineers know that are making your music that you listen to every day on the radio or download from Spotify or on Apple Music. When you create an instrumental track, you get to choose between an MP3 file, a WAV file, and also stems. What is a stem? Well, if you're not familiar, if you're not into the music world, you're not going in and mixing music, then you probably would never need to know what stems are. But if you're going to be talking about marketing this to somebody, it'd be good to know what stems are. And that's why I'm going over it for everybody. Stems is a way that you pull in every time that a cymbal crash was hit, every time a snare drum was hit, anytime a guitar string is hit. That's a stem, and it's brought into individual tracks, and you can manipulate them to however you want your music to be. But to get that done in a studio, you have to have all the musicians. You have to have the guitar player. You have to have the piano player. You have to have the bass player. You got to have all of the drummer, everything that you can think of that goes into building a music track. You're bringing all those pieces in. Now, what happens is that a lot of times when you're recording, it's not even the bands that are all there playing to get those tracks laid down. They're bringing in artists that can do it perfect every single time. Tens of thousands of dollars goes into creating these tracks because of just the engineer time to go and blend it all together. to bring in the musicians, the time in the studio booth. It all is very expensive. And I'm going to show you today how you can eliminate tens of thousands of dollars. As an artist, you're going to be able to create much more content, and you're going to be able to do it cheaper and faster than you've ever been able to do it before. And what's super important to understand about that is that our product can actually be taken straight to Apple Music, Spotify, over 150 places you want to distribute this music. Guys, you own it. As an artist, you will own all the rights. You'll never have to worry about going to put your music on something and getting flagged for any kind of copyright infringement. It's yours. It's unique. And it's royalty free. You can put it onto social media platforms and not have any infringement issues. It's super powerful. If you want to go and create a video and you want a music bed underneath the vocals, you don't have to be an amazing video editor or audio editor to do this. It's creating amazing tracks for you just to drop in. But let's just say that you do want to do that. Let's say you want to make your own music. Well, we have the ability to do that here too. And I'm going to show you that through our loops. We have drum loops, we have instrument loops, we have FX and ambience loops. These are loops that you can drop into our audio video editor and create your own song. Royalty free and ready to go to market. All right, Corey, I can't see any of the chat. So if there's anything that happens inside the chat that I need to stop, let me know. But let's kind of go through how this is going to work. Number one is super easy. So we have our genres, right? So if I click on hip hop, I'm going to see a bunch of styles inside of hip hop. So I might have a way to do an emotional trap. If I click on that, you'll actually see down here 10 sample songs. We're building every one of these songs right now that will go in for every genre, for every collection, for every loop. We are creating those, and you will be able to use those free of charge. You can use them for whatever you want. It's not going to cost you a credit. You're just going to be able to download it and put it into whatever it is. These are what we call our global tracks. And we make those available just for being part of the subscription. Now, you don't want to use those. You want something that no one else is using. Well, that's why we have this create button right here. Now, when we go to the create, you'll see that we have this little window down at the bottom. Well, this is also the same little slider that will come up on Ruby Canvas. So if I'm working from Ruby Music on the left, as you all know, if you've been following along, is that this is what we call our quick build form workflow. It's not going to a project. It's just something I want to go make a piece of music real quick and I'm done with it. If you want to do a project, you would click on the create and then you go into Ruby Music, and then back behind here would actually not be the Ruby Music background. It would be your audio video editor. And you would be able to do all this. Now, right up here, it says create a track. It gives you two options, instrumental or vocals. Vocals, it completely changes everything, right? And how you do look at things. This creates the entire thing. Creates the lyrics. And we'll show you that here again just in a second. It creates everything that you could possibly want. And you have a full song when it's finished. If I go to instrumental, though, this is where I'm going to be able to get down with the stems and really just create my own music without having to have vocals on it and all that stuff. From here, I had hip hop chosen, so it automatically preloaded it. I had emotional trap chosen, so it's already put in my style. And all I have to do is come in and throw a name on it. And then hit create preview at the top. And it's going to go ahead and take in that genre, it'll make me a song. Corey, can you hear that music coming through okay? Okay. Okay, now, so again, all of those cymbal taps, every time you hear a hi-hat, every time you're hearing any of those bass beats, those are all in a stem that can be loaded in, and you can make incredible stuff. Now, along with just choosing the genre and a style, you have the way to customize that. You can speed up the beats per minute, or you can slow them down. Doesn't really matter. You can also do that with little buttons if you want one at a time. Each style and genre has its own set of parameters. So you don't get 0 to 200 or whatever the ranges are. That specific genre and that specific style has a range that you can use. Now, if you're looking for something to go into your vocals, then you want to know what key you want those in. Do you want it in a minor key? You want it in a major key? And all you do is just click on the key that you want it in. I want it in F. Now, if I don't like the first song that I like here, maybe I want to tweak it. Maybe I want a little faster. All I got to do is just come down and hit create new preview. And you can see at this top bar how fast it loads these. It's making a new song for you now. Same hip hop, same emotional trap style, but now this has got different frequency. Obviously, we're dealing with different algorithm. Now we're running on an F key, major key, and we're at 150 beats per minute. And at any time in this rate, you just speed it up. You can go down to the whole song like this. How's it end? Now, once you are happy, you got the song that you think is going to be the great one for you, go ahead and make it your own. Or maybe this is a perfect thing that you need to go in the back of a video, right? Maybe you have a voiceover going over the top of it. Then you're just going to hit save. And it's going to save that to your library. And your library has the ability then to go and download it. Now, if you'll read up here, and it's hard to read, I'm going to read it to you. Up here in this little top bar, that's your progress bar. And again, you can watch it build. I'll just do it once so you can watch it build real quick. So as it's building, I just want you guys to understand that what it's creating here is a preview of what it is. It's a lower quality. Most people wouldn't ever be able to tell the difference. But it's not going through the whole long process of really putting in the higher frequencies and mixing it all down for stems. But when you go to download this, you're going to have an option to choose what you want to download. Do you want to download the MP3? Do you want to download the wave? Do you want to download the stems? Or you want all three? Or just 2 and 3? They're just radio buttons. You choose which ones you want. Now, just to give you an idea of the differences between that is that some people who are editing on their own software platforms might want a WAV file. That file is about 45 megabytes for a normal song length. An MP3 might be 5 to 6 megabytes. Stems can be anywhere from 300 to 600 megabytes. So when you're downloading those stems, we're not saving them, just so you know. We're not saving those. They're not going against storage for you. They're just going directly to your computer. And then you can go and import and do whatever you want with those. It's super powerful. Now, one of the things that you also have to do is you never have to leave the window down here to change it. Let's just say, I don't want hip hop at all. I can just click it and I'll have all of the genres showing up right down here. Okay. If I want to do social media, well, what does that mean? Well, it's just designed for social media. So if I want to do a euphoric song, I'm just going to hit create. I have to put a name in here. So let me put track name just for short. I'm going to hit create new preview. And one thing that you'll notice that when we're doing on social, it makes them all 30 seconds long. Does it automatically so the song is condensed and you can choose however you want it, whether it's, euphoric or whatever different themes you want. You can just click off the X right there, and now you'll be able to see all of their themes, and you just come back again. I say we want it to be relaxing. I just have to put in the name. And by the way, I have already changed it, so you don't have to put this name. It's going to just say track name every time, so you don't have to type it in. And this is why we do testing and user experience. we have to go through and do it, but it will just automatically be there. You just have to hit create new preview. And now it's going to create me a new song. So I reset. And now this is going to be relaxing for social media. So think about doing your reels. Think about doing your TikToks. Maybe it's just doing your YouTube shorts, whatever it is that you're wanting to use your music for. You can do it with just a few click of the buttons, and it's endless, guys. You want to do lo-fi. I mean, I love lo-fi. It's one of my favorites, but I want to do it where it's like moody. I come in again, change all these. These are all preset to like the most common that are used. And so I want to go in major. I want to go in E. Put in my track name again. I'm going to do this time, so I don't do it. And just create it. And now I'll have a new lo-fi piece of music here with a moody. You're not familiar with lo-fi, just all the distance, you hear all the things that we're trying to get rid of when we create a CD, right? Now pushing it all back into lo-fi. Now, for Sonia Hulse, our winner of the guest DJ themed choice today, I want to show something specifically for you today. So let's just say that I actually want to do something that's just an ambient noise. Wouldn't it just be incredible with all the solfeggio stuff that's out there today that's coming out for frequencies, if you could just go in and create your own music, and we have it on 8 different frequencies that you can use it on. You just choose the frequency that you're wanting to build on. Guys, in the genres up here, it'll actually have a little bit about each one. And so like, what's the 417 hertz better for? Is it maybe relaxation, or maybe it's boosting your immune system? It's like all the different things that are happening with their frequencies. Again, all you gotta do is just hit create new preview, and it will create me a new preview now on a 417 hertz frequency. And I can use this for my meditation. I can use it to go to sleep. I can use it to just calm myself down during the day. Whatever it is that you're trying to do, it's all available for you right here. Now, let me tell you one more thing that's super cool about this. Let me turn this down a little bit. Corey, can you hear me over the top of the music, okay? Yeah, it's all right. Okay. One of the things I find is so amazing with Ruby and vanilla, all the different ways that people can create. And so for those people out there who really love. All right, I think you need to turn music down now. Okay. So for all those people who are wanting to go out and create a business model around something that they're doing in Ruby, you can do that. These are cleared for commercial use. You can take them to go create NFTs. You can sell them. You can do whatever it is that you wish to do with these amazing things inside of Ruby Music. This is why it took us a little longer. We wanted to make sure we had that capability and that you had that capability to do things that are just absolutely off the chain. So hopefully this is going to be just a huge thing for you guys to go do. This is all the instrumental. Now, I know there's going to be somebody out there and saying, there's no country. And I'll just tell you, I said the exact same thing. I'm like, why don't we have a country? And they're just like, it doesn't work well. The genre doesn't work well. They're still working on it. We're still going to be working on it. But let me just tell you what, if you really want good country, you can go to pop. Okay, so just go into pop and you'll find the different ways that this works, because today, country, I think Larry Lewis said this last week in the Flex Connection, that today's country is pop from the 1980s. And so go in, you can create it here. There's one more thing I want to share with you as well, because this is like super crazy. We actually have collaborations that we're able to use as well. So this is from DJ White Shadow, who is a DJ. He's also done stuff with Jennifer Lopez, Selena Gomez, Lady Gaga. These are all specific tracks that are made by him that you can use, okay, and you can take out. So I'll just show you one real quick. And there are incredible music beds that are ready to go. Again, if you're taking to do something in the mixed world, you're gonna love it. Okay, so there's Ruby Music. You're gonna have a lot of fun with this. You're gonna have some incredible opportunities to go in and add this to all of your multimedia stuff that you're bringing to market. And I'm just gonna hit on vocals a little bit now as well.
Hey, real quick, Robert, we had a couple of questions.
Okay, all right.
Greg asked if we're gonna be able to take the stems, turn them into a loop and use that loop within the song, or download the loops yourself.
You can download the loops yourself, and you can also do those inside of Ruby Music. With Ruby Canvas, you can actually put them all together there. It's not Ableton. It's not Pro Tools. So if you're really wanting to go and do something like crazy, mixing and tweaking and pitch tuning and all that stuff, you're not going to do that inside of Ruby Canvas. You can take those out. But if you want to do loops, it's really that simple. I'll move up here. I'll go to loops, drum loops, for instance, and I want to do trap drums. I can just go in and create the trap drum loop. Put this in there and hit create view. And now I've got my loop. And this loop can be brought back in and done whatever. And they're clean loops, by the way. So I'm going to put it all the way to the end, Greg, so you can hear it. Get to the end, so you know it started, and then I'll start right back in and flip them over and over and over. You can hear the loop on it. And you can do that with all the different things too. So if I'm in, maybe I don't want drum loops, but I want loops, I can do it, in here as well. So I'm gonna put instrument loops, and I want an acoustic guitar loop that I want to use. I can use the same, beats per minute for my drums. I can use the same key, so I have everything going in the same way. And I can just create a preview for the loop. And if you don't like that one, it's that simple. Okay, so Greg, I hope that answers that question for you. All right. Yes, and by the way, just so you know, the stems go directly into Pro Tools. So you're just going to import the MIDI files. Okay, so it's got all the MIDI files. It's going to pull those in. So every time it's going up and down your faders, if your faders are connected in the MIDI, you're going to see those doing all the automation on the MIDI. And if you're on Ableton, this will be an Ableton file inside of the stems that you can just literally open up the Ableton files and it will all be done for you. That is super, super powerful. And by the way, I'm just going to put in, if you're not there so you understand stems, stems is spelled like that, just so that y'all sounds super knowledgeable when you're going out there and doing stuff. Okay, yeah. So if you have lyrics and you want to have it create music, let's talk about that now as we go into vocals. So there's two ways to do vocals here. One is to just give a prompt, okay? And prompts give you, pretty decent stuff if you're just wanting to do something, simple, easy, nothing super special about it, right? Or sometimes you just get really good stuff, but it's AI. You don't really know what it's going to be about. You're just giving it a topic. And the more detailed you can be, the better. However, it doesn't take a lot of stuff into the prompting. It's like, I think it's 100 words is the max. most of them, the best songs are done like within 12 words, like 10 to 12 words. And it comes up with good stuff. Now, I actually built this one this morning, and I haven't even listened to it because it was building, and I had to jump in here. So I'm gonna play it and see what it sounds like.
In the whispers of spring, love begins to bloom as petals unfold like secrets in a sensual dance under moon's gentle light. Fragrance of passion fills the air so bright.
Okay, so you come up with all other kind of good stuff. So you heard the Ruby affirmation. That's, you know, the 80s funk. We have so many of these. By the way, all of the things that you create are stored right here until you decide to delete them. And so you have the ability to come back in and re-download them or whatever. I will suggest this to you, just because storage with your multimedia files get to be really big. Now, these aren't very big. These are like 5, 4, maybe even as low as 3 megabytes. So they're not taking up a lot of space. But your stems and all your other stuff don't even go to here, so that's not a big deal. But your WAV files and your MP3 files are stored inside of here, so they can start to take it. So maybe just being aware of your management. And we actually have a storage alert that comes up as you start to get closer to your limits. And there's a limit set for each of the subscription levels. And so you'll know when that is, and you can download their stuff and then delete it from our service if you don't want to have more cloud service. If you are using all that stuff and you want to leave it in the cloud so it's easy to use and access, then you will be able to buy, you know, I think it's $4.99, and I think it gets you another like 10 gigabytes or something like that. I can't remember exactly what we decided to be, but it gives you a way to go and buy more. Okay, now for Greg's other question, well, can I bring my own lyrics in? Yes. And to do that, you're going to go right up here to custom mode. And in custom mode, we have some, this is not the all the text in there, but it actually gives you step-by-step of how you need to do that to go and start creating. And you will just load in your lyrics over here. Okay, so I got my lyrics. Then I'm going to choose what style that I want that in. So if I want that to be, let's say, in contemporary country, I'm just going to give it a country test here real quick. And then hit generate. That's all that you'll end up doing, and then it's going to create the song based on that. Now, I want to be very clear. This is pretty incredible. I mean, it is absolutely incredible. Like, you can create all kinds of songs. Think about all the ways that you could say something in a song that would just be so meaningful. Birthdays, things that people would keep forever and be able to go back and listen to forever. Just things that you would be more emotional through music. When you're creating these things, you can do it for all the types of stuff, right? Just know that it's not always perfect, I guess is what I'm saying. That's why we give you 2 to see the choice. Every time that you hit the button, it's generating 2 of them. Now, also at the top, just like in the previous music, you're going to see the progress bar at the top. And this will completely finish, and then it will create 2 pieces of music with those lyrics that are pushed into here. Either they are in the AI mode, where it just generates everything by itself, or if it's in the custom mode, it's going to create both songs based on those lyrics and the style of music that you're telling it. Like in the prompt, if you're not doing a custom mode, you're going to tell it what style you want. Like, create an 80s rap song about affirmations. That's pretty much what that was. And by the way, all of your stuff is right up here. This is your prompt that you're putting in. So like my Ruby affirmation, this was what it was: create an 80s rap song about positive affirmation. And all comes from Ruby, making it all better. Notice I phonetically said Ruby with a Y. That's the same thing as you would do with text to speech. You want to make sure if there's a word that someone doesn't know, that you're phonetically spelling it so that it's going to sing it right or say it right. So little things like that you'll learn. Maybe I can save you some credits by kind of giving you a hint of that. Now, this is going to be finishing here in just a second, and we're going to go through a lot more about how to get really good music from the vocals and the instrumentals this week on our Tuesday 1-hour training. Corey, if you don't mind pushing that into the chat, There's a link right now. You guys go there right now, and the first 20 are the ones that are going to get it. So here's the song. Whispered angel so sweet and give back. Your voice like a melody, it sends shivers down my spine. Like a young whisper angel, so sweet and divine. So you get two different options. And guys, here's the thing. I have done this where maybe I'll do the exact same lyrics and the exact same prompt. And I'll do 4 or 5 to get, 10 different, 8 different options. And then I can go from there. Now there's also an extend over here. So what it does on the vocals, it creates anywhere from 1 minute to 2 minutes of audio. And then if you like what it is, you can extend it and it will continue to go out from a specific spot on the song. So let's just say I like it to do a verse, another verse, and then a chorus, and then a bridge, and then I wanted to do maybe another verse, and then maybe the chorus on the outro. Okay, so I want to kind of structure it like that, and so I can structure that in my prompts that way. I can also put it into my lyrics that way. And by the way, when you're doing lyrics in Common, we'll go through this in stuff, but just label within brackets, chorus, verse, bridge, and intro, outro, and it will create those based upon those promptings that you're giving. And so you can do a lot of stuff with this, guys. It's so powerful, all built into Ruby Music, and where you can go out and really just do some incredible things. And I'm super excited about that. So I know we're going really long again, but we've got some good stuff here. I want to do just a few other things today. Corey, okay, here we go. Let's finish this up real quick. We've gone through Personify, we got into Economics. So I wanted to go through very quickly some of the marketing things that you're going to have in your hands when version 2 comes out. If you are super excited about this business, then you're going to be super excited about what we're going to be able to give you moving forward for helping you do the marketing. And I'm going to just kind of go through. Obviously, you saw the tryrubi.com site. You saw the myflex.ai site. Those are the new sites that are coming out for version 2. But we're also going to have an incredible way for you to go out and share this and break it down. This is actually going to come, and one of the things that we're releasing in the process of enrolling, it's called a brand box. And in our brand box, you're going to be able to add this to your purchase. It's going to be $35. In the box will be a branded t-shirt and a bunch of stickers, and then some handouts. These are like little brochures that go out there. You say, hey, you need to go check out Ruby. And you can hand it to them. It's still a way of doing business today. But this is also a PDF file that you'll be able to send out through the Ruby app, the Invite app. And so the Flex Invite app. And so this is one of the things that's so awesome about it, is that we can start to get people to see what it is and how to describe all that goes on inside of Ruby. And it's hard because there's a lot now. And so when we started looking at all the different ways that if I was to come in brand new, how would I explain all this? And so we have a saying that is really, truly the most powerful, value-driven AI platform in the world. And that's just kind of one of the things that the more you say that, the more you're going to just be able to hear it all over the place. And so you say it, your organization starts to say it, and then you see it posted everywhere. This becomes the tagline to the brand, okay? But we have all about the microservices and how we're breaking all the microservices down. Every section has a way to be described, how to use it, the best use cases for it, how you can go about, doing samples with this. Same thing with Spy. You can see that this is just going to be a really great brochure that you're going to be able to hand to somebody. And in every section of it, it shows you how powerful this platform really is in all of its capabilities of what it can do for them. And so this will be a great way for you to hand off to somebody. But another thing that we are also doing that is we're taking our brand Bible and we're going to publish this out because it's really about who we are. And if you don't know that much about a brand Bible, some people call it a style guide. I like to call it a brand Bible because it's a living document that's constantly choosing, just like the Bible. And so this is all about who we are. And for you as a distributor, it's super important to understand who we are, what we stand for, what it is, what's our purpose, okay? What's our promise? Who are we? What's our tone of voice for us going out? What images should we use? All of that's part of a brand Bible that's going to be a public document that people can go and research and utilize to go and help continue a consistent brand moving forward. But our purpose is all there. You're also going to be able to go through and see all of our brand promises of what it is. And let me just tell you, when you read this stuff and you're really wanting to understand how to go and pitch this, you're going to find the one or two one-liners that just make it easy to show, hey, we're here to democratize AI. We will make AI accessible to everyone, regardless of their technical expertise, ensuring that the power of AI is not confined to a select few, but is available to all who seek to create and innovate. This is powerful stuff for you going out and sharing, because it is who we are. It's about why we're here and why they should be a part of this great company. So I'm super excited about bringing this out there for all of you guys.